Hello everyone, today in this video I am going to cover the types of electron emission concept from the optoelectronic devices. So what are the content of today's video we'll see now. So it will see about what is the electron emission and types of the electron emission. What is the emission? Just the emission is nothing but liberation. Which you have to liberate? Electrons. So that is the definition of the electron emission. The liberation of electrons from the substance is known as the electron emission. Okay, what are the types then? It is a thermionic emission, next field emission, photoelectric emission, next secondary emission. One by one we'll see in the next coming slides of this video. Thermaionic emission. Thermionic. What is a thermal energy? It is a heat. So if you give the heat energy to the any metal surface, then the electrons will get liberated. That emission is called as the thermionic emission. The process of electron emission from a metal surface by supplying a thermal energy to it is known as the thermionic emission. So you can see in this image. See, if you are applying the heat energy, then free electrons are escaping from the metal. So this is the thermionic emission. Applications we'll see now. In the vacuum tubes and diode walls, and in the cathode ray tube, that is CRT monitors. PCs, earlier monitors and all, they will be having the CRT monitors. Earlier days dome shaped TVs, olden days TVs, Onida, Videocon, and the monitors and computers and all, we are using the CRT tube. We are using that time thermionic emission. And next in the electron tubes and electron microscopes, we are using the thermionic emission. X-ray tube and thermionic converters, all are working for the thermionic emission. Next, field emission. If you are applying the electric field, then electrons will get liberated, means field emission. So the process of electron emission by the application of strong electric field at the surface of a metal is known as the field emission. You can see in these images. So you are applying the strong electric field, then what happens? This metal will liberating the electrons. So just emission is nothing but what? Liberation of the electrons, some influence of some electric field, thermal energy, photoelectric field, like that. So types are there. So what are the applications of field emission? In the field microwave devices we are using, and some vacuum fluorescent displays, earlier video cassette recorders and car and radio micro. In that we are using the car radio, we are using the field emission only in that process. By in the car radio is also field emission, and microwave ovens we are using the field emission. See here, this is a car radio tape records we are using that time. There inside the emission is by the field emission only. Next is the carbon nanotubes. Next we'll see about the photoelectric emission. So photoelectric emission is nothing but what? By liberation of the electrons, by which photo means light. So light energy liberation of electrons takes place, means it is a photoelectron emission. The process by which the free electrons are emitted from the metal surface by the application of light is called as the photoelectric emission. See, this is a metal, free electrons, and photons are falling and emitting the free electrons. So applications in solar panels, we are using the photoelectronic emission, and photodiodes and phototransistors also we are using the photoelectric emission. Secondary electron emission, once already it is started emitting the electrons, again bombardment of secondary electrons makes the liberation of the electrons. Emission of free electrons from the metal surface, which occurs when the high speed electrons or primary electrons hits again secondary electrons in the metal. It is called as the bombardment. It is called, then secondary electron emission will be taking place. See here, free electrons, and it is a liberate. High speed electrons will come to the other electrons, and it will be liberation of the secondary electrons, means secondary electron emission. Where we are using again CRT, cathode ray tube. See here, this I told no, dome shaped TVs and monitors, we are using the their CRT tube. In that we are using the secondary electron emission also, thermionic field electronic emission also we are using. So this type of monitors, earlier days monitors, we are using the CRTs. Next, in the some amplifying tubes, we are using the secondary electron emission. So this is about the types of electrons emission. What are we discussed today? So thermionic emission, and next the photoelectronic emission, field emission, and the secondary electron emission. So thank you.